There's a job you didn't apply for, don't get paid for, and can't seem to quit. It runs in the background of your day, quietly draining you. The job is being everyone's silent judge. The coworker who was short with you, the friend who didn't text back, the driver who cut you off, the family member who said that thing again. Somewhere in your mind, there's a small courtroom running non-stop, and you're the prosecutor, the jury, and the exhausted witness. Here's what I want to walk through with you today, because it's more practical than it sounds. When we fixate on what's wrong with the people around us, we end up seeing those same flaws magnified in ourselves. It's not about pretending everyone is wonderful. It's not about being naively positive. It's about a strange piece of mental math, where we point our attention actually shapes what we experience. And there's a way out of the loop, one that doesn't require you to like everyone, or agree with them, or excuse anything. It just requires you to notice what you've been staring at. Think of your attention like a camera lens you carry with you everywhere. Whatever you zoom in on fills the whole frame. Nothing else exists in that moment. If you zoom all the way in on someone's flaw, a tone, a word, a pattern, that flaw becomes your entire world. The edges blur. The scale distorts. Context disappears. Let me make this concrete. Imagine a coworker sends you a reply this morning. 3 words. No greeting, no warmth, no punctuation to soften it. Fine. Do that. That's it. And immediately, without your permission, your mind starts building a case. They're dismissive. They don't respect me. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset about the last meeting? By 10 a.m., you've replayed it twice. By noon, 4 times. You started drafting a defensive response in your head, then deleting it, then redrafting. The email hasn't changed. 3 words, still 3 words. But your entire morning has been narrated by a story you wrote about a person who, maybe, was just in a rush between meetings. Maybe their kid was sick. Maybe they were typing with one hand while pouring coffee. You don't know, but the lens has been zoomed all the way in. And those 3 words are now the whole frame. Here's what's easy to miss. This costs you something physical. When you're prosecuting someone in your head, your body is in it too. Your shoulders are up. Your jaw is tight. Your breathing is shallow. You're carrying the weight of a conflict that isn't actually happening anywhere except inside you. And there's a second cost, which is stranger and more important. When you spend hours magnifying someone else's flaw, that same lens turns on you. The mind that's been sharp with them becomes sharp with you. You start noticing your own mistakes more. You feel the case building against yourself too. The ways you're behind, the ways you're not enough, the things you should have said differently. It's the same lens, just pointed inward now. This is the loop. Judgment doesn't stay contained. When you build a case against someone else, you're also, quietly, building one against yourself. The mind doesn't have 2 settings, generous with me, harsh with them. It has 1 setting. And whatever you're doing to them, you're doing to you. This is where something surprising happens. When you stop mentally prosecuting the people around you, the case against yourself quietly drops too. Not because you fixed anything, not because you did the work of self-love or self-acceptance. Just because the lens changed direction. Release your grip on their flaws, and something in you exhales. It's the strangest math. You didn't do it for yourself, but you're the one who feels lighter. This is why the old idea of forgive them for your own peace actually holds up, not as a moral lesson, but as a practical description of how attention works. You're not letting them off a hook, you're taking your own hand off the lens. So let's go back to the coworker. The 3-word email. You've been staring at it all morning. And then, somewhere around 1 p.m., something shifts. Maybe you overhear them on a call, sounding stressed. Maybe you remember they mentioned a deadline. Maybe you just notice how tired your own shoulders are, and the camera pulls back, just slightly. Not all the way. You don't suddenly decide they're wonderful. You just widen the frame enough to see, this is one email, on one morning, from one human being who probably isn't thinking about you at all. The 3 words haven't changed. But now they're just 3 words. Not a verdict. Not a case. Just a message from someone in a hurry. And here's the moment, the one worth catching. When the frame widens around them, it widens around you too. The version of yourself you've been narrating all morning, the one who did something wrong, who's not respected, who has to defend, that version softens. The whole morning stops being a courtroom. It's just a morning. So how do you actually use this in the middle of a real day? When the mental prosecution starts up again. You don't have to fix your feelings. You don't have to decide anyone is good or bad. You just notice the lens. When you feel that tight, narrow focus, the replay, the case building, the story writing itself, you can say to yourself, quietly, this isn't what I want to look at right now. That's the whole move. Not a mantra. Not a technique, just a small internal decision to widen the frame, to trust that the person in front of you, or in your inbox, or in your memory, is more than the 3 words you've zoomed in on. And so are you. You can use this at a red light, in a meeting. When you're rereading a text for the 10th time, it's not asking you to change your mind about anyone. It's just asking you to stop staring so hard. What you notice, when you do this even once or twice in a day, is that something you've been carrying gets set down. It's not dramatic. There's no bright light, no epiphany. It's more like realizing your shoulders were up around your ears, and now they're not. The case doesn't need to win. That's the relief. You don't have to be right about them. You don't have to be right about yourself. You can just live inside a wider frame, where 3 words are 3 words, where a morning is a morning, where the people around you are as complicated and tired and human as you are. And from that place, you can actually respond to the email, to the friend, to yourself, with something other than a defense. You get your morning back. You get your body back. You get to stop being the prosecutor in a case nobody asked you to try. In a moment, we're going to do a short guided meditation together to let this settle in. You don't have to remember anything from what I just said. You just have to be willing to set the lens down for a few minutes and see what that feels like. Before we move into the meditation, if this is helping you, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. It's a simple way to keep practicing together. Let's settle in for a few minutes together. Find a way to sit or lie down that feels supported. Let your hands rest somewhere comfortable. If your eyes want to close, let them close. If they'd rather soften and look at nothing in particular, that's fine too. Take one slow breath in, and a slower one out. Another in, another out. You don't have to do anything special with your breath. Just let it become something you're noticing rather than something you're managing. Now, gently bring to mind the person who frustrated you most this week. Don't try to feel anything about them. Just let them be there, at the edge of your awareness. Notice what your body does. Maybe your shoulders lift. Maybe your jaw tightens. Maybe there's a small pull somewhere in your chest. You don't have to fix any of it. Just notice. And now, imagine you've been holding a camera all week. Zoomed all the way in on them. On one thing they did. One thing they said. For these next few breaths, you're going to let the camera rest. You're not throwing it away. You're just setting it down for a moment. Let your hands soften. Let your shoulders drop. Let the frame widen. Just a little. They're a whole person, complicated, tired, trying, in their own way. Just like you. And notice, as the frame widens around them, it widens around you too. The version of you that had to defend, that had to be right, that had to build the case, that version can rest now. You don't have to decide anything. You don't have to forgive anything. You're just letting the lens go slack. Breathe here for a moment. Feel the space where the weight used to be. There's nothing to solve right now. Nothing to prove. Nothing to prosecute. Just this breath. This body. This wider frame. When you're ready, let your attention come back to the room around you. The sounds. The surface under you. The light behind your eyelids. Take one more slow breath, and carry a little of this space with you into the rest of your day. Thank you for spending this time in practice. A free digital ACIM resource is linked in the description if you'd like it. And if you wish, you're welcome to comment. I am grateful. Thank you for being here, and for giving this the few minutes it needed. If today felt like a lot, be gentle with yourself as it settles. You don't have to widen the frame all at once. Even noticing the lens is enough. I'm glad we spent this time together.